Are you wondering when your learner will begin pressing buttons? Did you know there are many signs of progress before that actual first button press? Here's just a few. Notice if they're listening to you. What I'm getting at here is notice if they're tilting their head or starting to seem like they recognize certain words you say. Really engaged listening is different than just kind of subconsciously listening or passively listening. So, right, notice if they look at you whenever you appear to start speaking. Notice if they come over if you start engaging with them. Just paying attention to the words that you say is really the first sign of progress here. Start paying attention if it seems like your learner is starting to recognize words that you say. So if they tilt their head while you're speaking, it might indicate that they recognize that word or at least are more interested in it. Notice if they respond contextually appropriately to these words. So if you say outside and they run to the back door, great sign. If you say something like play and they grab a toy and drop into a play bow, it's really showing that they're starting to get what these words mean. Pay attention if your learner is trying to communicate with you more. Increased attempts to communicate with you, whether it's just natural body language or their natural vocalizations, is a really great sign. Whether it's a greeting stretch when you enter the room or a gentle nose boop just to get your attention, the more they want to engage and initiate interactions with you, the more that they're likely to try to continue communicating. And the more they want to communicate, the more likely they are to begin pressing buttons soon. Look for signs that your learner recognizes your daily routine. If they begin anticipating routine activities like feeding or walk times, it shows they have a strong grasp of your daily routine together. Keep modeling buttons for these familiar and predictable concepts. Even better yet, if they run into the soundboard room when they are anticipating this routine activity, it shows they really have a grasp that the soundboard's valuable. It might seem really obvious, but notice if they were watching you more. It's a good sign if they're engaged with and focused on you when you approach and use the soundboard to model buttons for them. Notice if your learner begins investigating the soundboard. Praise them for showing any interest, whether it's approaching, looking at it, sniffing it. Try to wait to react until you can tell they weren't about to interact with it so you don't accidentally interrupt them. Look for signs that the soundboard is becoming more valuable to your learner. Your learner may begin recognizing it's valuable and start spending more time around it or even lying on it. Cats especially seem to lie on the soundboard before they begin using it themselves. Watch if they start eagerly running into the room it's located in whenever they see you enter it. Look for signs button presses become familiar and mean good things to your learner. Do they come running in when you press a button to see what grand and exciting thing you have in store for them? Watch for signs that your learner recognizes the meaning of a button when you press it. Look for ear perks, head tilts, increased excitement, or best of all, an appropriate response to a button that was just pressed. For example, when you press outside, if they run to the back door, or if you press play and they grab a toy and drop into a play bow, or if you press scritches and they rub up against you, anticipating those scratches.